Welcome. Thank you so much. Tyler Esprit. I am the Deputy Dean for Graduate Studies and Research. I'm a lecturer in the Literatures and English Department, and I am really happy to welcome you on behalf of the Faculty of Humanities and Education to this graduate orientation for the 2024-25 academic year. As postgraduate students that you are now, you have made a decision to professionalize, to do advanced study, to engage in research, and that not only makes you exceptional. If you see the global statistics on higher education, you will know that, but it also makes you our current and future colleagues, and we are happy to welcome you to our faculty and hope to see the work you do in collaboration with us here to continue to improve on the excellent international reputation of the University of the West Indies. So I'm happy to welcome you today, and I will be the person who will be your cruise director for this academic year. Hopefully you won't need me too much because we have some excellent leaders, department heads, lecturers, and support systems in place for you. And so you will forget my name and never have to talk to me again. And that means I'm doing a great job. But you probably will have to talk to me. And so I'm happy to serve you and to be your support in collaboration with our department heads and the Office of Graduate Studies and Research. And so I wish you all a very energetic and hopeful start to your academic year. Graduate study is difficult. Most of us who will be talking to you today and most of us in the room have gone through graduate study of some kind. It is difficult, it is challenging, it is time consuming, and it can often be a lonely enterprise. So you really need to stay the course and find support and light and joy and community where you can, and we hope we create a culture of wellness, of community, and of support here for you in the faculty, that you will not only be excellent at your work, but you will come out feeling really hopeful about the world. It's pretty dark times, but we are the thought leaders of the university, I would like to say. We are the ones leading the humanities, protecting our history, our information, our education, and our communication. And surely you understand that without us, all of the other things kind of fall apart. So I want you to really understand how critical the humanities and education are for, social, political, economic development, but also like who we are as a people and what we believe in, what we stand for, and the kind of world we want to live in 10, 20, 30 years, and you are the ones doing research on what those things are. And so we want to support you because I would like to have a nice, very happy retirement and not worry about boiling, things like that. I would like to build a world that I would like to live in, and you are the ones to help us do that. So we are really, really grateful that you have chosen the University of the West Indies and this faculty for your advanced study, and we will be here for you throughout that time. At this time, I would like to get the program rolling. I am just the MC today. Somebody who you need to know, more important than me, in terms of helping you, because she knows all the people and she makes the decisions for our faculty, is our Dean of Faculty of Humanities and Education, Professor Sylvia Cohenberg, and she will be bringing you some remarks on behalf of the faculty as well. Welcome.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Esprit, for the introduction. I want to just acknowledge the presence here of our campus coordinator for graduate studies and research, Professor Marcia Roy. Also with us in the room are several heads of department and several coordinators and other staff members, and of course, some of our new graduate students. And really and truly, you are the VIPs in the room today, and some of you online, Yeah, a number of you online. In this new hybrid world, we don't always see the faces of those we welcome to the institution. Let me just begin by citing a few statistics which may actually be already familiar to you, but nevertheless it bears repeating. The UWI, the #1 ranked Caribbean university, within the top 1% of Latin America's finest institutions, in the top 4% of over 28,000 universities in the world. This is where we are. And as Dr. Esprit said, our participation at the tertiary level remains below acceptable levels, and so you are truly part of an elite, those who make it not just to tertiary, but to actually postgraduate study. And you are a very small percentage, and we really would like to see that participation at the tertiary level increases quite a bit, that we have more access to education at that level. Of course, that access depends very much on what happens at the pre-primary, primary, and secondary levels. Some of you I know are in School of Education and may be able to ultimately be in a position to help us achieve some change that will help us improve access. But apart from that, as Dr. Esprit said, you are the future also of this institution. And for this, I just want to cite from an address that the Chancellor gives upon graduation, upon our graduation ceremony. And for those of you who have not seen this before, this is what our presentation of graduates booklet normally looks like. Many pages naming all our graduates, including undergraduates and postgraduate degrees, of course. In a few years from now, you are hoping to see your name in a booklet looking like this, right? And then you will hear the Chancellor say, amongst other things, that as a university, we are an academic society of undergraduates, bachelors, masters, and doctors. And we follow the academic tradition in the pursuit of knowledge and the encouragement of learning, purposes which are laid down in the preamble to the Royal Charter, by which we have been granted the powers needful for the prosecution of our affairs. That idea that as a university, we are an academic society that includes not only us, the staff, but also you, the students, I think that is a really important message from this address. As postgraduate students in this institution, you are part of this academic society, you are part of this tradition which follows the pursuit of knowledge and the encouragement of learning. And our motto today, access to opportunities, unlocking your path to excellence, I would like to say that this is not only your path to excellence, but that you are part of a tradition of excellence, and that we seek for you to unlock your potential, and with that, to further the aims of this institution and the aims of this faculty. Because what is our mission? It is our mission to advance learning, create knowledge, and foster innovation for the positive transformation of the Caribbean and the wider world, and to do that in all the academic disciplines that are represented in this faculty. And so we do this not only to further our own potential, but also to foster the goals of this institution and to contribute to the development of Jamaica and the Caribbean region. Everybody in this room consider themselves, I think, citizens of the world, but within the world, citizens of the Caribbean. And it is important to see your own path within that wider context. And so with that, I hand you back to our MC, Dr. Esprit. Over to you.
Thank you, Professor Cohenberg. I just want to highlight that the statistics are really important. I can't say enough about how exceptional it is that you are here and doing graduate work, because the Caribbean is still lagging behind in first degrees, and it is the correlation between that and our development and our sustainability cannot be overstated. So please encourage your family and friends to seek higher education and postgraduate education. At this time, I would like to invite the person who is the most critical to the success of graduate education on this campus. The Office of Graduate Studies and Research is your to-go hub for all things related to your registration, from your registration to your graduation. All of the rules, regulations, guidelines, policies that inform the awarding of degrees happens through amended by process within the Office of Graduate Studies from your offer letter to your diploma. And so Professor Marcia Roy not only oversees that aspect of it, but she also oversees the academic, research, scholarly activities of our graduate programs and our research on this campus. And I am happy to invite her here to welcome you to the university and our faculty.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. You know, the Office of Graduate Studies and Research is right across the road, right? It's the closest building to your faculty, okay? So I always come, 4:45, I just run over. And talking about statistics, Marcia, I was thinking, so I don't do math, okay? But I have this in my head. My son Jesse is just finishing his master's. So I'm very proud of him. He has, the research project grade to come in to finish his master's in computer science. But when Jesse did the GSAT in 2007, there were 42,000 children that went into the secondary school system. And when he did CSEC at fifth form, the report was that 30% pass math and 60-something% pass English A, okay? But when the calculation was done compared to the 42,000 that went into the secondary school system, it was 17% of those kids who went into the secondary school system that passed math and only 30% that passed English. Okay? I don't mean to be disrespectful, but this is a conversation I have with my son, so I tell Jesse, listen, most of the kids around your age, they're illiterate and illiterate. We have this conversation because 17% and 30%, how do we grow an economy with those people? So I always remember that. So I started my academic career after I finished my postgrad, and that was around the time when Jesse was born. So every year around this time, I think about those things. And it was one of the best decisions that I've ever made in my life to do a graduate degree. Where I'm from, in the rural parts of Jamaica, we don't know no professor, we don't, to come from country to come to town, that's a huge task, and you leave everybody and everything that you know. So every year around this time, I always think about that journey, and to do a graduate degree, didn't even know what a PhD is or anything like that, was one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life up to today. But I'm here to talk about all the administrative potholes in our institution and just some ideas about how to solve it. We can be honest, right? Because all of us are adults. I did all my degrees here, and Jesse just finished his MSc, and Jamie is at the beginning of his undergraduate career, so I'm director mommy kind of thing. When they want something solved, they come to me, and sometimes I don't even understand how to do it. Undergrad, is news to me, maybe at graduate studies, but even those things sometimes I can't solve. And our graduate students, many of them are part-time, they are working, they have families, they're so busy. They come to the campus in the evening when most of the administrative offices are closed, And the student satisfaction survey says that our graduate students are about 45% satisfied with our administrative processes, 45%. So you can imagine how frustrating it is. So I have two strategies that I'm going to ask for your support with. So the first one is the director's office hours. You know, when we were online, during COVID, we used to have online office hours with our undergraduate students. So the idea came out of that. So the director would be online, the assistant registrar, and all the graduate reps in the Office of Graduate Studies and Research. So if you have any problems, you know, you can come online and we can discuss it and we can help you solve those problems instead of trying to rush to get up here at 5 o'clock to catch the office before the office closes, or to send emails, and sometimes those are not followed up with. So we're hoping that we can do that once a month. Depending on the response that we have, maybe we can do it more than once. But the other one that I'm calling is the Graduate Connect Hub, where we have other stakeholders from the institution. The graduate studies team will be there, but we'll have exams, a representative from exams. So if you have examination inquiries, a representative from the bursary, somebody from faculty, so if you have faculty advising, or maybe we can reach out, your head will be available, so we can reach out to your head. So if there's a documentation that they need to sign before we sign off on it, we can do that. But you know, just a graduate hub where you can have all your problems solved in one go, in real time, and we're not tugging back and forth. So I'm just here to ask your support on those two initiatives, and I hope that we can move that 45% to something like 60% at least. So I'm hoping that those two things will work. Welcome to grad school. It is challenging, but it's very satisfying. You know, we do from application to graduation. And orientation is very anxious for me because I'm not a public speaker, and then graduation, oh God help me, 600 names to call. Sylvia is very good at it, man. She stand up there like a soldier because language is her thing. But I'm a scientist. I see some names, and boy, I'm practicing them for 3 days, but it's really very exciting. This year we're going to have 5 graduations, which means we're going to have lots of graduates. So that's exciting. So thank you very much. This is my 3rd orientation for today, and I have 2 more to go, but I'm going to stay a little bit and then run off when I have to go to the next one. So I'm asking for your support. If you need us, you know where we are. We're right next door. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Professor Roy, for your welcome remarks. As you know, this is a very busy week, and so we have to make a slight change to our program because the lady who is in charge of the money has a line of people paying, and I would hate for her to have to turn away people from accepting money for us at this institution because she was not available. So we would like to give her an opportunity to speak because she has to run back to the office to take your money. We love taking your money means serving you better. That's all it means. So I would like to invite Miss Renee Belloci to come give some remarks on behalf of the UE bursary. And she has a quick presentation just to talk you through not only how you can pay the university, but also how you can get support financially on managing your education and financing your education. So please welcome her.
Good evening, everyone. All right, so I'm Renee Belloci. I'm a customer service officer at the Students Administrative Services section, otherwise known as SAS. I'm also representing the Billings and Receivables Department. We are a section of the bursary, and on behalf of the bursary, I'd like to welcome you all to the University of the West Indies. So a little overview of who we are and what's our role. We offer the customer service to our student population on behalf of the bursary. We also ensure that your statement of accounts is up to date in a timely and accurate manner. We build and collect from our external stakeholders on your behalf, such as Student Loan Bureau. All right, so the commitment fee. All new students are subjected to a commitment fee. It's a $35,000 deposit that you pay towards your student account, simply showing your commitment to attending the university. The deadline for the fee is usually stipulated in the acceptance letter. If it's not explicitly listed there, then it's usually 30 days after the date of your acceptance letter. It's non-refundable. So once you have made payments, you're unable to reclaim or transfer same to another student. Even though it's non-refundable, it is used to offset future charges such as your miscellaneous or your tuition, whichever charge that hits your account first. At any given time, you can anticipate 3 main charges being applied to your account. That's your tuition, your miscellaneous, and your residence where applicable. Your tuition will be based on your registration. Your miscellaneous fee enables certain benefits such as your health. And the residence is dependent on which Mona operated hall you are residing on. The payment deadline for 2024-2025 is August 30th, which is today. All right, so how do you check your fees? Through any search engine, you type check fees Mona. You click on the first link, and it takes you to a page that looks like this. You'll note you're able to check your your graduate program fees, your residing fee, and your miscellaneous fee. Once you have ascertained what those charges are, you are also able to make payments directly from this page by clicking on the little red box that says pay tuition and fees. Go back? Sure. Good. All right, so your miscellaneous fee. The miscellaneous fee is a non-refundable fee, and it's payable at the start of each academic year. For a student that is residing on hall, your miscellaneous fee will be $45,430. If you're not residing on hall, it's $36,930. The charge for the new ID is also added to your miscellaneous, so you'll see a total of $38,080 for a student that is not residing on hall. These are 8 payment locations that is authorized by the university to collect monies on our behalf. At no other given time should you be making payments that's not listed right here. Payments to anybody that's not listed right here, right? You have the UE Bursary Cashier, you have the e-commerce. Once you have made payments at any of these 2 locations, it reflects on your statement of account immediately. If you use the NCB full service location, the bill payment option online, NCB, the UE Edicom Credit Union, Jamaica National, Bill Express, Paymaster. Once you have made payments at any of these locations, it takes 24 to 48 hours to reflect on your statement of accounts. You also have the option to use the wire transfer. We normally advise our students to use this as a last resort, as it takes 15 business days to reflect on your statement of accounts. If you are using the wire transfer option, you'll need to reach out to us for our banking details, and we can provide you with that. However, if you're not using the wire transfer, then you don't need our banking details, because they already have our banking details in their system, so just kindly ensure that your ID number is listed in the transaction. Right here? Okay. They're waiting on her behind you. You okay? Okay. All right, so the e-commerce platform, you can click on the little red box that we would have saw earlier, or you can type in this link. You simply create an account, log in, register your card, and make payments. There's also a manual online that can assist you with this, but if in the event that you come across any hiccups, you can reach out to the Mona Information Technology Services team, otherwise known as MITS, and they can assist you. You have several options to fund your tertiary education: payment out of pocket, loans, grants, salary deduction, JAMBAT, ministries, among others. You also have the option to get funding through different institutions such as the Government of Jamaica. You have the Ministry of Education scholarships, the Police Federation, PATH, Student Loan Bureau, Educom Credit Union, Jamaica National, NCB. You also have the Office of Student Financing that assists our students with different bursaries, scholarships, loans, meal subsidies, and a few more. You can reach out to them. Their information is on the screen. Don't know if you want to take a picture. All right, so if in the event that you are unable to pay your tuition by the stipulated deadline, then you have the option to utilize an installment plan. The requirements for a tuition installment plan is that you must be fully registered for your semester, your miscellaneous fee must be paid in full, and the 25% of your semester's tuition must be paid. If you are a returning student, then ensure that all prior balances are cleared. Just like the tuition installment plan, we also have one for residents. Kindly ensure that the charge for your housing is applied to your account. Your miscellaneous fee is paid in full. 25% of the semester's charge for residents is paid. And again, if you are returning, ensure that all prior balances are cleared. You are able to access the tuition the installment plans through the Bursary Online Student System, otherwise known as BOSS. Plans are available per semester. Plans have been available since August 2024, and the deadline to apply for the plan is September 13th, 2024. So this outlines the schedule of how the payment plan is usually set up. You pay 25%, which is your deposit. The next 25% is due at the end of September, the next 25% at the end of October, and the final 25% at the end of November. And by then, you should be in good financial standing with the university. Regrettably, if you are not in good financial standing with the university, there are some penalties. One such penalty is that there be a 1% late fine added to your account at the end of each month until your account is regularized. You won't be able to sit your exams or access certain facilities. You won't be able to view your transcript or grades. And for the accounts that are extremely delinquent, we would have made several attempts to reach out to you to collect same, and we were unable to. Those accounts are sent to a collection agency who attempts to collect monies on the university's behalf. So the Bursary Online Student System, BOSS, has some of the services that are offered by SAS. For example, the applying for a tuition letter, applying for a statement of account, and even your installment plan. Through any search engine, you type UE Online Systems, you select BOSS under the student option, then you log in with your credentials, which is usually your student's ID number and your default password, which is your date of birth. You can also take a picture of the barcode on the screen. It takes you directly to the BOSS platform. So understanding your statement of accounts. Your statement of accounts shows all charges and payments per semester. So for 2023-2024 semester 1, for this student, it shows all the charges that were applied to the student's account. It shows all the payments that the students would have made. It gives a charge total, a payment total, and also a term total. So here at the university, our students is the adult. And as such, we are only authorized to give our students financial information about their account. If in the event that you're unable to come to us for any financial information or financial document, then kindly ensure that if you're sending someone, they are listed on your account as a proxy. If they come to us and they are not listed on your account as a proxy, we can't provide them with that financial information or document. All right, so that's wrapping up the presentation. Some of the frequently asked questions that we get. Can fees be paid per semester? Yes, your fees are payable per semester as you are billed per semester. How do you check your account balance? You're able to check your account balance through the bursary online student system, BOSS. Can someone can someone be sent to conduct business on a student's behalf? You are the adult, you are a student, you are a customer, and as such, we are only authorized to give you financial information about your account. But if in the event that you are unable to, you can add whomever you're sending to us as a proxy on your account. Payments can be made at any of the 8 authorized locations. The bursary cashier, UE E-commerce, Paymaster, Bill Express, UE Educom, NCB, Jamaica National, Western Union, and the last resort, wire transfer. What is the difference between a tuition letter and a statement of accounts? Your tuition letter outlines all the tuition costs, miscellaneous, and residence fee were applicable for the academic year, and the statement of account shows all charges and payments that were applied to your account at the dates you would have requested same. Payments usually reflect on your account immediately if you use the bursary cashier or the UE e-commerce platform. If you use any of the other locations, 24 to 48 hours, with the exception of the wire transfer, that takes 15 business days. If 24 to 48 hours pass and you're not seeing the payment you made on your account, you can reach out to SAS with a copy of your receipt along with your ID number, and we can check on that on your behalf. UE's bank account number. You don't need a bank account number if you're not using the wire transfer option. If you are, you can reach out to us for that detail. We are open for business from Mondays to Fridays, 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. We currently have extended hours up until 6 p.m. from now until September 30th. We are also available through email, call, WhatsApp, and live chat. You can also follow us on Instagram. We are very active on Instagram, let me say that. We have a lot of financial updates on Instagram, so you can follow us. You can take a picture of the barcode on the screen for those that have Instagram. And again, on behalf of the bursary, I'd like to welcome you all to the University of the West Indies.
You can't say you don't know how to pay your bill. I saw people taking notes. I was very impressed with that. You see, everybody's ready for school, taking good notes. That was quite impressive. At this time, I would like to invite our department heads to welcome you. And we will begin with the Caribbean School of Media and Communication, CARIMAC. Our department heads will come and give you very brief greetings, because after this session, we will be going to break out in our advising sessions with our department, so you will have an opportunity to talk to them more in depth. Welcome.
Good afternoon. I don't know how brief I can be, but I'll try my best. The first thing I want to let you know is that you are entering the premier school for higher education, training and education in media and communication across this region, really. We are committed to advancing knowledge and professional standards across the industries for which we are training and developing talent. And I would like to say that you are going to be playing a very, very important role in helping us to advance what we see as 3 main areas of focus at this particular time: to develop quality thought leaders and fierce innovators in media and communication praxis. And the second one really is an acknowledgement that changes in media and communication technology and performance are simultaneously as rapid as they are ubiquitous and require deep, consistent, and continuous study. You are going to be an important part of that. And the third pillar has to do with the increasing need for the application of media and communication theories, models, and approaches to addressing critical development issues such as, but not limited to, health and wellness, climate action, education. So we at CARIMAC, we are into strengthening our research agenda because we know that you will help us to really and truly make the difference that we need to see in creating the kind of thought leaders and innovators that are required at this particular time. So welcome to the University of the West Indies, welcome to the School for Graduate Studies and Research, and welcome to CARIMAC. Usually I tell my students, my name is Patrick Prendergast, and I'm the director of CARIMAC.
I was going to ask, who's that guy? Let's welcome the department head for the Institute for Caribbean Studies, ICS, Dr. Dave Goss, to join us.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Dave Goss. Before she asked, who is this young man? It is my privilege to welcome our students to the Institute of Caribbean Studies, Reggae Studies Unit. And we are very proud to have you with us this academic year and the ensuing academic years, because we see ourselves as an institution which reflects on our main task of ensuring that culture is properly understood and practiced. Now, there are 3 things I just want to say very quickly at this time, that this is a period of transition, in the sense that you will be asked to read more and more and more and more. And we want to encourage our students to read and to ensure that your busy schedule, that you find enough space in your busy schedule. And I said to other students in the past that I did my postgraduate degree overseas, where I never had to work as Jamaican students have to work. So it is incumbent upon you students to ensure that you make that special time to do your reading, followed by reflection, because that is the task of a scholar. Now, I'm sure you're not here to become rich, because if you're coming here to become rich, then I think I would tell you now, go back home. Nevertheless, so your new task now, then you are now in the academic world, where your life now is one of reading, reflection, and followed now by practice. And if you follow those principles in your graduate life, you will ensure that at your postgraduate life, you become someone that people look up to and envy. So I just want to encourage you, therefore, then, to ensure that you organize your life, rearrange your life, your lives generally, so that you can spend time reading, reflecting, and practicing and becoming what God has intended us to become. God bless you.
Thank you, Dr. Goss. We will have language, linguistics, and philosophy next. Dr. Vivette Milson-White will join us.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome new students to the University of the West Indies, Mona, specifically to the Faculty of Humanities and Education. Some of you are past students of the university, and so you know what we are about. Those of you who are coming here anew, you are in for a treat, a journey that will take you to higher places than you've been before. It will be transformative, it will be challenging, it will be exciting, and as you heard from our Director of Graduate Studies, it will be personally and professionally fulfilling. As graduate students of a university, you would have already developed some skills for success. I suppose that at this level, as most of us know, what becomes critical is the balance between work, perhaps volunteer activities that we engage in, and the studies that we have to do. I trust that you would have already begun to think about how you're going to strike the balance, because it is the balance that is going to determine the extent to which that you can proceed quickly through your program, for those who would like to go quickly, or that you'll be able to spend perhaps one extra semester because you can afford to do that. So I wish for you attainment of the balance that will enable you to succeed. So let me tell you now a little bit about my department: language, linguistics, and philosophy. We are a multidisciplinary department, as you can imagine. We focus on human communication. We consider how language shapes thought and how thought influences language. We examine reality. We question and challenge our assumptions about reality and existence. And much of the work that we do involves nearly all of the university. At the undergraduate level, nearly all students have to engage with my department. Some of you are going to be taking a course in advanced academic English, and so you will interact with us. But outside of that, you may, as you are considering your courses in other departments, think about taking an elective from us at the graduate level in philosophy or in linguistics. Whatever you do, I wish for you a balanced journey and a fulfilling time here at the University of the West Indies, Mona, and in the Faculty of Humanities and Education.
Thank you so much. Next, we have Dr. Stanley Griffin, Library and Information Studies.
Thank you, Chair. Good afternoon to everyone. Good afternoon. Wonderful. Let me, on behalf of the Department of Library and Information Studies, welcome each of you to your graduate work, and in particular, our students who will be experiencing the department's re-strategizing of itself under the theme Review, Renew, and Revitalize, to ensure that we prepare you to be graduates of the 21st, graduates that are 21st century minded, digitally oriented, and academically ready to give dynamic leadership, especially in fields in the information sector. And so what does this theme of review, renew, and revitalize mean? First off, you come to your studies with a wealth of knowledge and experiences from both your undergraduate years and your private lives. This is now a time to review and build upon that foundation, to critically assess what you know, to challenge assumptions, and to delve deeper into your chosen field of study. Embrace this opportunity to review your life, your thoughts, your actions, and your visions of yourself. Secondly, renewal is a powerful concept for us in graduate studies. It is now a time that signifies a fresh start, a chance to renew your commitment to learning, discovery, and personal growth. So whether you're pursuing a master's degree or the doctoral degree, it is a time to renew your intellectual curiosity, to explore new methodologies, new ideas, to push the boundaries of knowledge in your field. So embrace the challenges and opportunities that will come with this period of renewal. Finally, this period of revitalization speaks to the transformative impact that graduate education will have on your lives, your families, and your society. And so our department is committed to providing you an environment that fosters innovation, critical thinking, and interdisciplinary collaboration. So be sure to engage with your lecturers and your administrative staff and your colleagues and your broader academic community to seize the opportunity to revitalize your understanding of complex issues and to contribute meaningfully to your field, to your academy, to your faculty, to your department, to our university through your research and scholarship. Finally, review, renew, and revitalize is really an opportunity to embrace these new changes that you will experience in your full life with enthusiasm and dedication. So, start your journey of discovery, growth, and achievement wholeheartedly. I say this to students all the while. Your mother might send you to undergrad, but you sign up for masters. Embrace it. Congratulations.
Thank you so much, Dr. Griffin. And now for Literatures in English, we invite Dr. Esprey to give you remarks on behalf of our head of department, Dr. Lisa Tomlinson, who could not make it today, but we would like to welcome our new students and welcome all students to the faculty. This faculty, one thing I enjoy, the multidisciplinary and interdisciplinary nature of our work and our programs. We have programs at the undergraduate level where we share classes with Karimak and history and so on, and that is one of the beauties of this faculty, that we have real collaboration and community, and I hope that the students in Literatures in English will go and explore the other faculties with their electives, but also with research and with projects and events, and the same for you all. I know we have a lot of collaboration with education students sometimes, so we are embracing that collaboration this year and hoping to get to know all students in the faculty. So that's it for us at the Literatures in English department. And now I would like to welcome our department head from Modern Languages and Literatures, Teresa Villanova. I'm going to say it, Villanova. Right. Let's say it again. Let's say it for me. Viora. I'm trying harder. I'll get it after when she's done. I'm going to practice.
Hi, good afternoon. Maite Villoria. So welcome to all the students at the University of West Indies, Faculty of Humanities and Education, and in particular those who have chosen our Department of Modern Languages and Literatures to pursue their postgraduate degrees. I have to say that I hope this journey is not a lonely one, as it's been said before. Actually, I think this journey shouldn't be a lonely one. Sometimes you will feel probably like this, but it won't be. Because what you have to do is to create community, to join together, to seek for other students within the university, within the faculty, or even abroad in other universities that are doing your same kind of research, that have similar interests, and work together, join with them, and definitely come to our department to seek for guidance, because we will be there also to make your journey a bit easier because we want you to succeed. So I hope this is not a lonely journey. And also, we want to say from the department that is also a multidisciplinary department. You will find languages, foreign languages, but also critical thinking. You have literature and film. We actually are working with other cultures, and that will be as well a path that will allow you to learn about your neighbors, to learn about other cultures, to learn how to embrace difference around the world, and that is one of the skills that is needed in this 21st century. So from modern languages and literature, we welcome you again, and I hope that you have a good time with us during these years coming ahead.
Maite Vioria. I practice. Okay, next on our list is, I know many of you might be here for this person. This is probably our largest department for postgraduate programs. Dr. Marcia Rainford will bring you remarks on behalf of the School of Education.
Good afternoon, everyone. Have we got to evenings yet? Almost there. It's really a pleasure to be here. And I know we have persons who are online, and we have quite a few persons here. Let me welcome you on behalf of the School of Education to this very important faculty. You have heard a lot. You have heard about balance. You have heard about reflection and practice, renewal, revitalization, review. I want to just add the whole business of support. Most of you who are coming to the School of Education are teachers. You're coming from work in the evenings. You have families, you have mortgages, you have older parents perhaps, and as a result, you are going to find that this task of coming to school in the evenings to do your postgraduate work can be quite a challenge. And so I'm going to say to you, whether you're going to be online or face-to-face, you need support. Support from families, and I want to encourage you to reach out for that support. We will provide support in the School of Education, and I want to just say to you that you will always find someone with whom you can communicate, share your problems, and talk about what's going on. So support is important. The other thing I want to say to you is that you must plan. Your program is 2 years part-time for the most part. Most of you are doing the part-time program, and it's going to be 2 years. And 2 years just go like that. So you really need to plan to ensure that you complete at the end of the 2 years so that you can leave here 1 November, you'll be walking with in your regalia, your graduation outfits, and you'll be very pleased to take pictures. So I'm just saying to you, make sure you get the support that you need. Plan, 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 and we are certainly here to support you. Welcome again to the School of Education. At the end of this session, I think our advisement sessions will be online, and so I'll talk with those of you who are here before you leave so we can talk about how we're going to make that transition. Welcome.
Thank you, Dr. Rainford. And we have the United Theological College of the West Indies. Is Reverend Dr. Karen Durant McSweeney here? No, not today? No. Well, I don't think she's here today, but I'm sure that if you are in this room, she welcomes you as well. Did I cover everyone from the department? Yes, I think we went through the list. Okay, so all our departments with graduate programs have welcomed you, and we are going to give you some more information related to the holistic experience of being a postgrad student at the University of the West Indies. And our first one is from a fellow student, who is representing and advocating for you, and that is from the Mona Association of Postgraduate Students. I will ask Mr. Philip Clark to come and give brief remarks and welcome you to the university and the faculty. ICS, right? Yes, so ICS reps.
Afternoon, everyone. Let me extend a warm welcome to each of our new postgraduate students. To the Faculty of Humanities and Education here at the University of the West Indies. As was said before, I am the postgraduate rep, and it's an honor to stand before you today. I remember it's just 1 year ago, I was sitting right over there, wondering if I made the right decision in pursuing a postgraduate degree. I think I did. The Faculty of Humanities and Education at UA is a place where critical thinking, creativity, and cultural understanding are not just encouraged, they are expected. You are now a part of a vibrant community that is as diverse as it is dynamic. We have scholars from all walks of life, each bringing unique perspectives and experiences. Let me put in a small plug for my own department, the Institute of Caribbean Studies. It is a star-studded department. We have a lot of lecturers that are well known right through the faculty, but I have to put in a plug for my department. Our diversity is our strength. It enriches our discussions and it broadens our understanding and prepares us to engage with a world that is increasingly interconnected and complex. There are a wealth of opportunities to present and be a part of conferences both locally and regionally. And most recently, I can tell you about a delegation of 4 postgraduate students, including myself, and was ably led by Professor Hope, that went to the 48th Caribbean Studies Association Conference in St. Lucia in June 2024, sponsored to a large extent by our very own University of the West Indies. Activities such as this will add to your personal and professional development, and as a result, change your life. As students of the humanities and education, you have a unique role to play in the society. You are the ones who will ask the difficult questions. You will explore the complexities of human experience, who will teach and inspire the next generation, and who will contribute to the cultural and intellectual fabric of our region and beyond. Your work has the potential to shape the future and to influence policy and to challenge societal norms and to foster understanding and empathy in a world that desperately needs it. As mentioned earlier, I'm the postgraduate rep for the faculty, and in that capacity, I'm a part of a larger group called the Mona Association of Postgraduate Students. And we are the bridge, or we act as the bridge between faculty and the postgraduate students in each faculty. And we have a WhatsApp group that you can all be a part of in order to not only voice your concerns, but to stay in the know as to what is happening in the department. Once again, I welcome you to the Faculty of Humanities and Education at the University of the West Indies and look forward to the incredible things that you will accomplish. Thank you, and I wish you all the best in the months and years ahead. Thank you.
Thanks so much. On our agenda next is our library representative to talk to you about the UE Mona Library, the services that are available. I would like to welcome Ms. Yolanda Tugwell, a librarian from the Mona Information Literacy Unit. And so welcome her to come talk to you about kind of a big deal, the library. You want to know it and especially if you're in a research degree, it's going to be your best friend. Please give her a warm welcome, get to know her, and visit her often. On the first page. That's 5 2. Here, 3.
Okay, thank you. Hi, good afternoon. My name is Yolanda Togwell, as was said earlier. I am a librarian at the Mona Information Literacy Unit, and I'm in the main library of the university. Now, we just want to welcome you to the university, and I will just run through a few things with you, and we're open for questions after I have finished my presentation. All right? So that picture you saw was of the main library, and those persons who know KFC, we're right across from KFC. And for the persons in the humanities, main library is your library. So your physical resources are located in main library, right? Then we have some additional libraries. So the Mona library system is actually made up of 5 libraries. And there's the Science and Engineering Library, which is located to the south of the physics department. So where Juicy Beef is, I'm using the food places. You head south, and the Science and Engineering Library, so that's that first one there. As it relates to the Law Branch Library, that is located at the Law Faculty of Law. Now, not a food place, but the Scotia ATMs are over there. So it's the 3rd floor of the law building. Medical, I always talk about the Flyway building. If you pass that one and go on to the University Hospital campus, as soon as you enter the campus and you're entering the ring road, it's right there on your right, up on a little slope, right? That's the medical library. And of course, there's Western Jamaica Campus Library, located in Montego Bay, St. James, with scenic views across from the Donald Sangster International Airport. Nice little library. That's where I started my journey at UWI. All right. So one of the things you want to look at, so this is the main library, and we have a picture of it inside there. And I said to you already that it houses a lot of the humanities stuff. There's also the social sciences. It's 3 floors, and there are reading rooms. There's a computer lab. There's a multifunctional room. There's West Indies and Special Collection. And there's reprographic services. And I'll go back to this picture. So right at the front there where those students are gathered on my picture, that's what? You're right, right? That's the reprographic, the front of the reprographic unit. And you would be happy to know that the university heavily subsidizes your photocopying needs. So you're talking about like probably around $15 for black and white per sheet. And we're talking about maybe like $35, $40 for color. So you want to use that facility, right? So moving on. So we have the Science and Engineering Library, and those have those resources there. You may have something that is scientific related. So if you're a teacher of math or a teacher of science, you may find that some of your material is actually located in the science library. So depending on what our information portal says, you may find that you have a call number if it's a physical resource that is down at the science library. All right, so there's a medical, same thing. It has medical resources. So if your discipline falls within anything like that, medical related, so some of the science people may find that depending on what they're looking for, it might be at the science, the medical library, right, or the science library. And the law branch library, if we're talking about the legal aspects of things, although you're in the humanities, it means that more than likely your books might be located over there. So we have Western Jamaica Campus supporting the library collections. Library collection supports the courses that are offered there at that campus. So this, your ID, is going to be your passport to the libraries, right? So the ID takes you into all 5 libraries. You're not limited. If you return something at one, we have an internal system that can get it to the other one. It's one system that we have, right? You pay your fines, and I hope you don't end up getting fines, but if you borrow physical resources and you have fines, you would pay that at that same reprographic unit at the front of the library. If you're off campus, you're required to really sign in, and I'll get to a slide with that. So the hours at present, Monday to Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 10 p.m., all the libraries. However, on Saturday, it's just the Mona Library, it's just the main library that is open from 9:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. But we have what we call an overnight reading room lab that is open beyond the library hours, and some of you will be happy to learn that. So you can go there, and it's open from 8:30 a.m., goes back to 6 a.m. during the weekdays, and usually open for all of the weekend. All right, so you'll be happy to know all of that. Please note that hours change or reduced when we're on holiday breaks and there are other holidays, right? So for postgraduate students, if for the physical resources we're talking about, you are allowed 12 books for 4 weeks, so essentially 28 days. Periodicals, you can borrow 6 volumes, but you'll find that most of what you need is actually online. And RBC books, at any given time, you can have 3 of them if you're inside the library. If you're going outside of the library, it's going to be the 2, right? So when we talk about 3, we're talking about you having like overnight copies and having 3-day loans along with a reading room copy, which is 3 hours, right? So that's when you have 3 reserve book collection books. And they're usually behind the circulation desk of any of the libraries that you go to. So most of your textbooks would be in the reserve book collection, right? We don't have everything, but I'm sure there's something there that could help with your particular discipline, all right? Then we have the virtual spaces. So you want to know about UWeLink, and we do have UWeLink sessions planned for next week, and I'll show you a flyer afterwards. And we encourage you to come to those sessions because just like a supermarket, you go to UWeLink and everything is there. And we're talking about all the collections of all the libraries in all the different territories, right? So there's UWE St. Augustine, there's UWE Cave Hill, Global Campus, Mona, everything is there, right? So you will find that we share resources. A lot of our electronic resources are shared. And in addition to that, sometimes when we don't own something, we're able to ask our sister campuses, you know? It doesn't always work out, but note that sometimes there's that option, all right? So whenever you see that sign at the top, UWE, LINC, and if you want, you can scan it. It means UWE Libraries Information Connection. So you'll see it come up. Now for off-campus access, you're going to use the ID number and password that you use on SAS, right? So your ID and your password. So you'll find sometimes when you go on UWeLink, if you're trying to sign into UWeLink and you want to see particular resources, you must put in your ID number and password. This page is going to come up, right? And sometimes, depending on where you are on the campus, you may be asked to enter that ID number and password. So that's for UWeLink. So print resources, we spoke a little bit about those in terms of open shelf, reserve book collection. West Indies and special collections, that's the area that has the theses that were done at UWE. So if you want to see physical theses that were done at UWE, they're actually located in the West Indies and special collection. So a lot of persons who have gotten A and so on, those are there. In addition to that, we do have access to a database, ProQuest, thesis and dissertations, if you want to see work that was done by persons abroad, right? So that we have access to that. Your ID takes you into that, right? Electronic resources. So we have a host of subscription-based scholarly journals, credible resources, and we invite you to make use of them. You indirectly pay for these resources, very expensive resources, right? A lot of them, the university pays thousands of US dollars for them, and we invite you to try and use them. Try and use them so that you are getting credible resources. You're at this level now and you're expected to be given scholarly work, right? Peer-reviewed articles. Those are the things that you want to use for your research, right? There are ebooks, as I said, and we have a host of different vendors and citation guides. So, for example, for the humanities, some of you will use APA, some of you will use MLA, some of you are using Turabian, right? So it depends on what your discipline is. We do have access to some citation guides, right? Then there are the past papers. You can search UWilling to find past papers. And of course, most of our articles and books, we do have downloadable articles and books. So full text is available for a lot of our resources that we pay for. So I just took a snapshot of some of the databases that we have. ProQuest and EBSCO, you want to familiarize yourself with. They are multidisciplinary databases. And EBSCO has a suite of databases. Caribbean Search is one of them. And there are so many others, depending on your discipline. Then you have Project Muse. Credo reference you want to familiarize yourself with. So the library has stopped buying reference sources. So dictionaries, encyclopedias, when you want background information, you want to go to Credo reference. Very important. Another thing, as it relates to Cabell's, we have access to Cabell's predatory reports. Now we're in the age of misinformation, fake news, all kinds of things going on. Especially in your discipline, you will find that you and the sciences will have a lot of journals that people go ahead and they have their own journals going on, that the names are very close to the really credible journals. So Cabell's actually lists some violations for some of their reports on some of the predatory journals that are out there, and you do have access to that. It doesn't have everything, but you can have an idea. There are other resources online, but note that this is one place you can go to. Cabell's, very important. There's Emerald Insight, ProQuest. I spoke about ProQuest earlier. So ProQuest has ProQuest dissertations and thesis, but there's also other subscribed content in there that you have access to. JSTOR, of course, a lot of your historical information. A lot of persons in the humanities use JSTOR, right? It's important, too, that we do have some electronic books that come under JSTOR, all right? So I tried to do a snapshot here, and sorry, I should have done it with the humanities, but I'm the liaison for engineering, so forgive me. So what you can do, when you get into Credo, usually you can put up a topic, any topic. And what happens is that most of them, you will get what is called a mind map. So it's like a webbed thing like what you see there. And when you look, any one of those at the end of the webs, any one of those other topics, they are related concepts or related topics. And if you click on any of them, you're going to get all the resources that are in Credo. Lots of nice reference sources for you, right? So you don't have to use Google Scholar. You can come right here where there are credible resources. And if you're lazy, you can let it read to you. This one has that option for it to actually read to you, right? So Credo, very good starting point with any particular topic that you're going to be doing. And I took some ebook vendors. Of course, this is not extensive. I just took out a few of them. We have a lot of books on EBSCO host. We have over 20,000 of them. Cambridge ProQuest 2, eBook Central have quite a few of them. SpringerLink, same way. So know that there are those. There are also LibGuides, and you can find that. They're like subject guides. So there are LibGuides there on your discipline, all right? So that we would get when we go to the library's homepage. So not necessarily in UWilling, because this is something done by librarians. All across the university libraries, there are things there. You can search by the author or the owner. You can search by subject. You can search by topic. All right? So moving on, I said you have access to examination papers, usually searchable by the course code and the course number. Another trick to it is if you're searching and say you only want to find first-year courses, you could have put, like, my example there is Econ 1000. So I could have put Econ 1 and an asterisk. And it shows me all the first-year courses that have past papers. And you can do the same thing with the second-year courses, third year. You are 6. Isn't that so? Most of the courses for postgrad start with 6, right? Yes, so you would be doing 6, okay? Those are undergrads with the first year. So another thing we do is we play a very vital role in thesis submission, and that is done through the Mona Information Literacy Unit. And we help with thesis consultations. We help you in terms of and you're not yet there, but you're heading towards there. So we want you to be thinking about it. So currently you have the UE Thesis Guide 2015 that is being used. So university sets out guidelines on what you're supposed to be doing in terms of how your thesis is supposed to be set up and so on. So the librarians will help you with that. And we do have liaison librarians for different areas. I told you I was a part of engineering. Not saying that if you come in the library and I'm there, I'm not going to help you, right? But we do have liaison one-on-one persons that can assist you with the different thesis citation styles, all right? So scrutinies come from graduate studies, and we do those also, and we're able to issue the campus librarian certificate of acceptance at the end of that. And as I said, liaison librarians are your one-on-one connection, your go-to persons at the library. All right, so we are responsible for the technical requirements of the thesis, and those are some of the thesis documents. And we do have, whether you're doing the thesis traditionally or there's a guideline, so when you're doing the manuscript-based thesis. So all of that information we would help you with. So I took a snapshot of the thesis guide, and I have 4 manuals there, 2 of which you may use in your journey. So the APA is at the top, and the MLA is at the bottom, Modern Language Association, and Publication Manual of the American Psychological Association is at the top, all right? So pretty much what I said just now. And we do offer presentations annually. Plagiarism, UE-Link, as I pointed out to you, EndNote, and we do have sessions on AP and MLA. Please look out for them. There's also a session that we do throughout the year as it relates to how you go about submitting your thesis, and we usually do that in collaboration with the Office of Graduate Studies and Research. So there are a number of services that we offer, information literacy and reprographic services, the circulations, things like that that you would do. So UE-Link training will be offered next week. From Monday to Thursday, there are 11 a.m. sessions online. On Tuesday and Thursday, there's a 6 p.m. session, and we're offering a face-to-face session on Saturday the 7th at 11 a.m. in the overnight reading room. So find us everywhere. The Mona Library website. When you go on the university's website, there's a tab there for libraries. You can click on it, or if you want, you go mona.ue.edu/library. Reference services, if you want help in accessing information, please email us at reference.library. If you want to get to me, I'm in milu.library@uemona.edu.jm, or at my name, yolanda.tuggwell@uemona.edu.jm. And we're on most of the social media platforms. And thank you. Don't know if you have any questions. And all are invited to the UE-Link sessions. You don't have to be first year. You can be anybody. Lecturers, you're all invited to the UE-Link sessions. You'll be surprised what you can learn. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. You will need all of this information later. So much of your work will be through and with the library. There is a question, Letitia? You can email her. Yes. Let me see if I can get that back. I'll try to get the email address. Okay, awesome. Thank you. Now, we've been talking a lot about academic things. We're going to take a little break for that. We're close to the end of our program, so don't worry. We're going to take a little break from all the academic things and deal with your actual physical and mental health and your wellness, and invite our representative, the director of the clinical services for the University of the West Indies Mona campus, Dr. Tina Hilton-Kong, to give you some, oh yes, I have yours, welcome remarks, and she will have a brief presentation as well to tell you about the services. Oh, somebody's doing that virtually. Yes.
Okay, all right, thank you. Oh, long day, and as Prof. Roy, it's a long week because I've been doing quite a bit of these orientation things myself and with my team. And so unapologetically, I'm using the same presentation that I used for undergrad and for postgrad, but I'll talk probably a little bit from it. So welcome, and oh, somebody's, so I do not forward it either from here. Okay, so next slide. This, okay. Right, so welcome, as everyone has said, that's the symbol of the pelican, and the pelican is the symbol of the university. And you know, when I was searching, waiting at one of these orientation, and I was saying, hey, what's the characteristics of the pelican? I searched for undergrad, I got focus, persistence. And a while ago when I searched, using my same phone, so I don't know if AI took over, or Dr. Griffin, I don't know if I'm not really knowing how to search, but this time I got revitalization, regrowth, what he was speaking of, and also learning from mistakes. So, as postgrads, you're going to be revitalizing yourselves. And so welcome and congratulations, and enjoy the experience in moderation. That's especially for the undergrad. For by now, you know about excessive and what that can do to your health. And at the health center, we offer medical services, limited dental services. The dental services also offered at the polyclinic. So what we cannot offer at the dental clinic, we can refer to the polyclinic. That's at the School of Dentistry. We have a pharmacy, and I came in at the time when Professor Roy said, you know, the university journey has some potholes. Well, we're in a pothole right now because our pharmacy, we have a little hiccup as it relates to a printer for labels, but, you know, these things, but we're working on it. So the pharmacy is open to everyone, outside, inside, anywhere. Okay, and just as how photocopying is very reasonable at the pharmacy, I can guarantee you cannot get prescription items more reasonable than at our health center. You should let me know, because I know our markup is not as external pharmacies. Vaccinations are available there for even renewal, because sometimes you have your boosters to get. And also the Mona Aging Wellness Center, just down the road from us, they also offer COVID vaccines to you or your relatives, so you don't have to be a university student or staff to get those vaccines. So you may have, as someone mentioned, I think you had mentioned that you may be looking after older parents. You can also take them for COVID and flu vaccines there. And we offer some rapid test kits. COVID, we have rapid test COVID, influenza A and B rapid tests. Unfortunately, you would have to pay out of pocket for that because we're not a recognized lab site. It's just the usual rapid test that you buy at the pharmacies. And of course, we offer our mental health services. Within the health center is a university counseling and psychiatry service. With our limitation, we have had since January to just be able only to do urgent or walk-in cases. We are not able to do that follow-up of a situation in terms of, you know, a series of counseling sessions, but we do have our referral list and we would accommodate that. And in case you don't know where we are, I could also use the food. We are right across from social welfare center where a lot of people go and get food, but it's that from the post office gate or from Irving Gate, that straight road is Gibraltar Camp Road, and so we're at the top, nearer to Irving and across from Social Welfare Training Center. So you need your UE ID to access the services there. You're a student, even though you are, on in your career and so you're a student, so you actually just swipe your health card. The health card that university is going to give you, which you have to collect, you will just swipe. If you're seeing the doctor there, it's just the swipe. You pay nothing out of pocket for that, but you have to be paid up. So your miscellaneous fees, remember the first thing on miscellaneous fee was for health, so that has to be paid up before we can, get services free. In the interim, say you have, there's a period before you actually get your IDs and your card, Sagicor card, you can pay and then you can claim back for that from Sagicor, okay? But for the pharmacy services, you will use your health card. You pay 20%, university pays Sagicor pays 80%, okay? And this health card is also can be used externally, it's not just at the UE Health Center. And it also covers counseling sessions and psychiatric care. Here's the part that I will spend a little bit of effort on, and I don't have a full crowd, and hopefully online, you're not too tired, but this is a part that gives me a lot of work. And we have been working with the Deputy Principal's office to try to have this put on a system so that you can just enter your ID and go through a portal, and it will help a whole lot. Because one of the main problems is students, whether they're undergrad or postgrad, unfortunately, do not seem to know how to complete forms. So, case in point, I kid you not, last week I had a form for the exam, and there to fill it out, and the date was 2022. That's the date, no month, no date of the 2022. The university rule says you're actually to contact. If you missed an exam for medical reason, you should contact and have that form completed and sent to the health center within 7 days. I wonder if that person thought it was years. However, I tell you, I see a lot of things. So, leave of absence, remember, we want to support you. There are times when some things happen, you had some medical reason or so, and you could not complete your course, you were not able. You can request a leave of absence for medical reasons. You just send an email straight to our health service email. I will tell you that. And you can just request to say, I request and whatever, and we will follow up with that. If you have a medical report, all of that we will do. I tend to see, funnily, postgrad tend to do this for the students, but unfortunately I can't. The UE regulations, it's the student to do it, okay? The department can certainly follow up, because of course sometimes there are potholes, and so the department can follow up. If you're unable to sit an exam, come to the health center right away, as soon as possible. If you're very sick, could not come to the health center, you're in hospital, let somebody notify your coordinator or say you're sick. You don't send to them, this is the medical certificate. That medical information is for you and for your doctor and to share with me. You can send a sick leave, which says I will be absent, or you can say I have been sick, but you don't send your medical information, okay? It's very important. Data protection is a very important thing. So you will do that as soon as possible. I'm saying to say, if it is that you're on campus and it is an exam and you became ill or not so well even before, come to the health center. It is the easiest way to sort out the medical excuse. I say that. When you go to your doctor, you can also have that option. Then you make sure that they complete the forms, because doctors also don't complete forms very well. And I can't read their writing. Oftentimes, I have to contact a doctor to say to confirm what is this diagnosis and so on. So it's really important. Some doctors, unfortunately, don't remember what diagnosis meant. So they need to come back to, because vomiting is not a diagnosis. I can't accept that for exams. And if you were, say, on a leave of absence and you are to resume, then you need to come back. You need to get that resumption letter from your doctor or so to send through to the health center. So anything that is a final grade, that contributes to your final grade, you will fill out that form. And that is the QR code that will lead you straight to examinations website, on the UE website, which will give you the form. You'll see Form A, which will complete your name and so on. It doesn't have phone number, but I tell you, please, a phone number is also the only link we have with the students, because sometimes they just drop off these forms there. They don't use their MyMona email and so on. So it's really important that you put a phone number. Again, if I had that portal, then once you enter your student number, everything would come up and you would check which exam and so on. So we are oftentimes, that's what, calling back, contacting you to say the information is inadequate. Okay? Right. And it just goes further, that form, that's what the form looks like. The first part, on the bottom of the form, it says, what's your name? And you have to give permission to your doctor. Say you saw a doctor externally, or even at the health center. You saw Dr. Meeks. You write Dr. Meeks' name, that you're giving your Dr. Meeks consent to share your medical information. I've contacted external doctors, and they said, sorry, Dr. Hilton Kong, all due respects, I don't have anything to say that I can share this information with you, even as doctor to doctor. It's very important that you give consent, and I don't send reports or request reports if I don't have that consent, specifically. Even the other day, I had to send back from OBUS. They asked for something. I said, I have consent for Faculty of Medical Sciences, not for you. So can you ask the patient, the student, to, even if I email to say that she gives consent, that was done. So, and the forms again, the medical form, the doctor can either write a detailed medical report or complete Form B, which is given on the website as well. So the person just downloads that, take it to their doctor. Or as I said, if they come to the health center, I don't even need that part because your file would tell me all of that information. And so one of the commonest excuses, there's no data as to when the doctor saw you, because that's the first information there, but a lot of time doctors write the person's name. So again, anytime a form gives so much mistakes, it means something is inherently wrong with the form, but anyway. Real systems will improve. So we're open Monday to Friday, 8:30 to 4:30 usually. And that's our telephone numbers. We have a WhatsApp that you can send your WhatsApp text of your prescription. You have a script, take a picture of it, you send it to the pharmacy, they'll contact you as to when you can pick it up and so on, and the cost and all of that. All right? Not sure, is it working when you take a picture? Because I found that it worked when I did it on the screen there, but I had complaints that it never worked there. But if anything, the department has this presentation, so they could probably just print that slide, and so everybody can have it. The email to send those forms or medical report is healthservs, HEALTH, SERVS, no E, healthservs at uemona.edu.jm. Unfortunately, our website is there, but it's ancient. I didn't follow Dr. Prednick's advice to take it off because it's so ancient. So there is good enough information there, except those doctors are long gone, and I think that email on it is also wrong. But it's a work in progress. I think that's it. Any questions? Thank you for your patience. I see everybody's faces. It's time to go home. Oh, no, you have direct advising. Healthservs, HEALTHSERV as in Van, S, at uemona.edu.jm. Okay? You can even have questions too. Because it's sometimes very difficult to get to our phones. Unfortunately, UE Health Center phones seem to be right beside UE Hospital on the Google. So everybody calls. When they can't get through to UE Hospital, they then call our phones. And about 60% of our calls are for UE Hospital. So that's why our lines are so busy. But if you are in, there's an extension as well, and so on, if you're within. But if you have to contact us, you can also use that email. All right? Thank you. Any other questions? All right.
Let's thank Dr. Hilton Kong for that information. Okay, we are coming down to the end, and our last, well, two of our last presenters are online, so we're going to have them join us, and they will be brief, and then we will go out to our department advising. We are a little behind schedule, and but we are going to try to catch up very quickly because we're almost at the end, right? Okay, can you hear me? Online, on Zoom? Great, Mr. Chambers. We have a representative from the Registry Information Services, Mr. Leighton Chambers, who will do a presentation first, and then we will end the evening with two student testimonials, and that will be the end of the program. So Mr. Chambers is joining us online. Mr. Chambers, do you want to share your screen? Okay, we can see your screen. Yes, we can hear you. We are. You can go ahead.
So registration is totally self-service. It's online. You go online, you register. There's no need for anyone you come and present any registration to anyone. It's totally online. You go onto SAS, which is our student administration portal. We call it the student administration system. And there you will see, among other things, the menu items for registration. And we have about 5 steps in registration. And the first one is to obtain registration information, which is what we're actually doing now, this afternoon, this evening. Get your academic advising, then you go online and select your courses. There are times, and we'll speak a little bit more about it, where you may need some approval, what we call an override. And you make that request, and you need to ensure that it has been approved, because it doesn't have to be approved, it could be denied. And of course, after that, you do the necessaries for financial clearance to be had. And one thing I should say is that when you register for a course, you're registering for your exam. So you can't do an examination without being registered for the course. So registration information is all about what we know, orientation exercise, such as this one. Then there's also other information about registration in your faculty handbooks and whatever your academic advisors will tell you that you need to register for, right? Step 2 is about getting your academic counseling, which you'll do later. And then we go to step 3. Step 3 is where you log on to the student administration system. You go on the portal and you select your courses that you're going to be doing. There are times when a course may be, a particular class may be full at its capacity, and of course, the system will advise you, but you can request an override if the lecturer will take an extra person or so in the class, and it's for the lecturer to deny or approve. There are also some courses that priority is given to persons who are doing those courses as part of their major, their core courses, and they will get priority in straight registration into those courses, whereas everyone else will have to request an override. And of course, the override can be approved or can be denied. So an override is simply asking, there's a warning message or error message coming from the system to say, we're not allowing you to register, but you can request an override, and it is for the faculty or the department to approve or deny that override. On the SAS homepage, there are 3 videos that guide you in registration. One video is how to select a course. The next one is how to drop the course. And the third one is how to request an override. And again, I should remind you that when you request an override, do not assume that it's going to be approved. So you need to ensure that it's going to be, you need to ensure that it's approved. The system should send you an email telling you whether or not it has been approved, but ensure that you check. So this, what you're seeing now, is a snapshot of the homepage, the landing page for registration. And here's a link. There's a link there called Register for Classes. That's what you're going to click on in order to register. When you click on Register for Classes, then you'd have to log on to the system, right, with your UID and password. And your username is your ID number, and the password is, you should have received a randomly generated password in your email, which when you log on the first time, you would need to change that password. Right. Then now you go, after you have logged on, you select the Student Services tab on the SAS page, and then you go to Registration, and you go to Banner 9 Registration, add/drop courses. And that will carry to our landing, to the landing page, where you can go and register for your classes. Right? There are also some quick guides that are in SAS, which is a PDF document. So there are the videos, and there are also PDF documents that will help you to guide. But I'll tell you that it's very intuitive, so you should have no problems in registering, and it's user-friendly, So if there's an error, the system will tell you exactly what the error is. If it has been approved, the system tells you that it's approved. So you should know each step along the way, what the status is. And there are not many steps. And then, of course, after that, the fifth step in our registration process is all about paying off the fees. And again, you won't be able to sit your exams unless you have financial clearance, because that's a part of registration. And again, I repeat that any queries about the finances, that should be directed to the bursar. Now, there are some deadlines for registration. Right? No, before I reach to the deadlines, I'm speaking to graduate students, so this is very important for our graduate students. Our graduate students, the courses have multiple what we call sections. So if you're doing a course called Mathematics 101, Mathematics 101 can be held, let's say, on a Monday at 10 a.m., and also on a Monday at 4 p.m., and on a Wednesday at 2 p.m. And each of those are called a section. So when you're registering for the course, you have to select which section that you're registering for. And the sections are identified with a 3-character name. Graduate students, you have what we call a GPA. You are no GPA. Some graduate students are GPA students, some are not. If you are a GPA student, and the Office of Grad Studies, as well as your faculty, will tell you about this. If you are a GPA graduate student, you need to select the sections that start with G. If you select the other sections, which are the non-GPA sections, you are going to get what we call a student attribute error. So the GPA students must select the sections of the course that start with G, G11 or G22 or whatever. But it starts with G. All the GPA sections start with G. So the GPA grad students need to select the GPA sections of the course. The non-GPA grad students will not use the GPA sections of the course. The GPA sections of the course are only for grad students. And again, you'll be getting an email when if you ask an override and the override is approved or denied, you'll get an email to tell you exactly what the status is. All right, registration timelines. Normal registration ends on September 30th. After normal registration, there are penalties for registering. So you can register after normal registration, but there's a fine to register after normal registration. And registration, when we say normal registration, that's a period where you can add or drop courses. So until September 30th, 2024, for semester 1, you can drop and add courses. Right? The registration period for semester 2, the end of normal registration for semester 2 has not started as yet, has not been set as yet. But you can register for semester 2 courses from now. So when we started registration on July 1 for semester 1, persons registered for the whole academic year. So you can add and drop courses for semester 2. The normal registration period for semester 2 should end sometime in early February of 2025. But that date has not been finalized as yet. But for semester 1, normal registration ends on the 30th of September. Then we go into where you pay a penalty, and the longer you stay, the longer you pass that normal registration timeline, the penalty goes up. So maybe for the first week, the penalty may be about $2,000. The second week after, in October, then it might go to $4,000, etc., etc. So my advice is get all your registration activities done by the 30th of September, and it won't cost you anything extra. ID cards. Now, part of your miscellaneous fees for new students coming in included including the cost of your ID card. And so up to the 30th of September, we will be doing ID cards in the assembly hall. And there are 2 camera systems set up there where we process ID cards for all students, whether they are new or returning. After the 30th of September, we will go back to the ID room, which is on the ID building right where the cashiers are, right in front of where the cashiers are. There's a small room there where ID processing is done. There is an appointment system that you can go along on SAS and set an appointment to come and take your ID. And right now, all the appointment dates are between 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. Monday to Friday. In the assembly hall right now, we're operating our registration assistance center. So just in case you have any problems with registration, right, you can come to the assembly hall and we have a number of persons there that can assist you in registration. So right now we're doing IDs there. The bursar has 2 cashiers there that accept card payments only. And we have a number of persons there able to assist students in registration. And the RIS offices have been temporarily relocated until the 13th of September in the assembly hall to facilitate any inquiries, RIS related inquiries that students may have. Right? Along with the assembly hall, you can contact us at ris@umona.edu.jm, or you can call us on the phone at 970-4472, or if you have access to an extension 7647 or 7648. Okay. Issues with password reset are handled by the mid-set desk. RIS cannot help you with resetting of your passwords. The mid-set help desk is there for that, and they have a WhatsApp number, which is 876-499-2291 or 876-869-9775. And that is the end of my presentation. Are there any questions?
How do you distinguish GPA from non-GPA students? Good question.
Your Office of Grad Studies and your faculty cannot tell you whether you are a GPA student or a non-GPA student. There are some grad students that have a GPA, and there are some programs that are not GPA-related programs. So the system is intelligent enough to identify you. Your faculty or the Office of Grad Studies can tell you whether or not you're a GPA student.
student GPA program or not, and then your advisor will let you know which stream to register for. Okay. There is another question.
No, I'm not hearing the question.
Okay, 1 second. I was listening for the question. It's coming. She's asking if students are registering for a course from another campus, how would they do that?
If students are registering for a course from another campus,
Yes. That's offered by another campus and they are taking that course towards their degree. How does RIS facilitate that? What is the process to do that on SAS?
all right, let me tell you what I know about, right? There are some courses that are offered across the 3 campuses. And we...
Not like
Right,
campuses. Yeah.
all right, that's I'm going to tell you now what I know about. So bear with me. There are courses that are offered across all campuses, and you still register for that course on our Mona campus, and the system, the online platform, VLE, will know that it's a cross-campus course and will deal with it. So you still register on our campus. If you are doing a course from another campus or another university, we can't facilitate that. But your faculty would advise you of what is a course equivalency on our campus for you to register for. That's...
No, it's not the situation. No, we have postgraduate programs, MAs, already approved a few years ago, and that has happened before. We had students registering that in another campuses. So I wanted to know, the course is not offered here. The course is offered in San Agustin, and through the cross campus, we have to apply to have, the registration online, but it has to be approved. But that hasn't happened yet. Okay, it was going to happen probably for the next year. But for this year, the students, how do they register? Because the course is offered there, not in our campus. The program is on, and the students need to register. So I just wanted to advise them, just after this meeting, how they can do that.
I didn't clearly hear everything what you said. But what I'll say to you is that we only facilitate registration for courses that are in the Mona campus's course catalog. So if a course is being offered on another campus, right, or another university for that matter, we would have to have that course in our catalog, and the student would have to register for it on our catalog, right? So I shouldn't say I know of. There is, to register for courses, there is no manual form that we use. Our registration is 100% online, and it's done by the students. Like I say, there are cases, and I can give you examples like with our exchange students, or there are some programs where part of the program is done at another university, and part is done on the Mona campus. The courses that are done at the other university are in our catalog. So although the student is doing it at another university, they still come on our systems and register for the course on our system. When the grades come from the other university, the department will get those grades into our system.
Understood. Thank you so much. We will have to follow up with the office once we find out more about this registration issue. We are in the final. Let's give a round of applause for Mr. Chambers, because we need to know how to do that. Thank you, Mr. Chambers.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yes.
Have a good evening.
You too. We are in the final item for this evening, and I'm hoping it will give you a little more energy to go into your advising. We have two presentations, again, very brief because we want to go home and to our advising. It's Friday. Um, we have two presenters. I heard this lady yesterday speak at the general orientation. I was very excited by her introduction of our keynote speaker. She did an excellent job. Tamara Scott McFarland is on Zoom, so I will go with her first and have her present, and then we will go on to our second speaker in the room and wrap up for the evening. Farland?
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. And let me add my voice in welcoming you to the University of the West Indies, your place to shine. I promise you that you will have the thrill of your life. I use the time to reflect on my experience. I'm from the School of Education, doing an MPhil in curriculum studies. And I can tell you that I've had my ups and downs, but I promise you the ups are so many. Too many to talk about. I have only 2 minutes. So I'm going to tell you about a little of my experience and with that, some advice. So, one of the first things I must tell you that I've had opportunities to present, to hone my research skills, and to develop as an academic. And it's because of the support provided by the School of Education. The lecturers there are so nurturing and so supportive. And on that note, I will tell you that especially if you're embarking on the MPhil PhD program, you need to listen carefully to your supervisor. Spend the time understanding they're there. It can be a very humbling experience. I stepped into this process thinking that I knew what I was doing. And then when I got my feedback, my multiple feedback from my supervisor, I realized that I needed to grow. So be humble, accept those suggestions, listen, spend the time. My supervisor will tell you that I sometimes do this disappearing act, but she's always there as a mother figure to provide the support. So that's my first encouragement because that has been one of the best experience there. No, I've been hearing the speakers talk about balance, and I promise you it's not one of the easiest things. A mother, a wife, a full-time employee with multiple responsibilities, and I'm sure many of you can relate to that. It is not easy. And so the next thing I want to talk about is the importance of support. Now, throughout my journey, what my supervisor did was to create what we call a professional quality circle, a learning community. And so I could see other persons engage in a similar pathway that I am on. And so we can bounce ideas off each other. I thought that was an excellent move. I've grown from it. We were tasked to present each month, so there's this knowledge sharing. So once you can sit down and have your colleagues critique what you're about, it is just so awesome. So not only are they telling you the positives, but they're able to point out, okay, why don't you take a look at this particular author? Why don't you look back at your research question? So be humble and willing to accept all of that. And on that note, it would be remiss of me to end this conversation on support without talking about the value of an association that exists out of the School of Education called the Association of Graduate Researchers in Education. No, that is an association that is critical that all of you as incoming graduate students spend the time to be a part of. The purpose of it is to provide a platform for educators to discuss policies, to look at research, and to provide support. And you get multiple opportunities to hear about that association. But I promise you, you'll get that community, and you are going to need that community on your journey. No, I know it's large and people might, feel as though they're lost, but I promise you, I have met members from that association who will assist in being a sounding board. When the stresses come, you're going to need that one person to say, hey, you can get this thing done, you're going to get it. I am going to hold you accountable, because sometimes we tend not to hold ourselves accountable. So having a community helps. And so I'm asking you to avail yourselves of all the opportunities that are there. Our lecturers are there. I know they have multiple things working with, but I urge you, spend the time to just ask. They're willing. So even if it is a passing conversation on the corridor, spend the time to stop and just ask. Get the help. Do not sit in your silos and think everything is okay or that you're alone. There is a space, and we're all here, including your fellow graduate students who are on this journey. Thank you so very much for sharing. Enjoy your journey, balance yourself, build yourself, and we can all complete successfully. Thank you very much.
Speaker, our final speaker on our agenda is Kerry Clark from the School of Education as well.
Good evening, everyone. So I'm Karif Clark. I will try to be brief, but when you are in a program or a MPhil PhD program and you get 2 minutes, you realize that what you have been through, 2 minutes can never actually account for what you would have been through. But first and foremost, I would like to say that coming into this program or into your graduate level program is what you want to make of the experience. And I say that to say that you determine what you want out of the program. Anywhere you go is what you make of the experience. You will have good experiences, you will have testing experiences, you will have experiences that challenge you. It's what you make of the experience. So I'd encourage you to ensure that you make something of the experience. The second thing I'd like to share with you is that you have to hold yourself to account. And when I say that, I mean that you have to manage yourself. Self-management is important. If you are doing the MPhil, PhD, or the EDD, where you would be working primarily in research, then it means that you have to have your own timetable in place when you do your work, when you do your readings, and so on. I have a spreadsheet in terms of on Google Drive, and Google Drive is very useful at this level because you will lose things, computers will go and stuff like that. Yes, trust me, you don't want to lose anything. And you will maybe traveling sometimes, and you will need to access your resources, so keep your things in the cloud. So hold yourself accountable by having a spreadsheet, and you have action items. That's how I do it, right? So in one column, I have the tasks that I need to do, and I have a status column. Completed, not complete, in progress, etc. And that is how I hold myself to account, and my supervisors are on that spreadsheet. So if at any point in time they need to know what I'm working on, they can go on and check on it as well. And I do communicate with them very often. And which leads me to the next thing, supervisors. Again, it's what you make of the experience. I have two amazing supervisors, Dr. Ferguson Murray, Dr. Carl Hordat Gentles, amazing supervisors. And they have always been very supportive, very responsive. I can send an email tonight, I get a response before I wake up the next morning. I can send an email right now, and I'm pretty sure before I go to bed, I'll get a response from them. But the thing is that, colleagues, it's about the synergy that you have with your supervisors and the relationships that you build. If you're doing a long journey program, it means that you have to have a relationship with your supervisors. You'll have to engage them over the period because they will be guiding you. And sometimes the feedback is not always what you want to hear in the moment, but it is what you need to hear most times, right? Because you're thinking that you're doing something right, but then when you have those experts in the field and so on who question you and ask you to think about something differently, when you go and read and you discover more, you realize that, yes, I needed to do something differently. Another thing I want to share with you in the faculty and specifically with the School of Education, well, in the faculty generally, opportunities are always there. It's for you to seize those opportunities. In 2022, I started in 2020, and in 2022, during the whole war between Russia and Ukraine, I got an opportunity to go to Latvia based on the research work I'm doing. And I decided to go despite the risks and the challenges and everything, COVID, war in Ukraine. And if you know where Latvia is, Latvia shares land border with Russia. And where I was living at the time, most of the people there speak Russian. So you know that it was pretty close. But I decided to go, and I had an amazing experience. And so I'd encourage you, if you get opportunities based on the research work that you'll be doing, based on the work that you'll be doing with your facilitators, lecturers, etc., seize those opportunities, because sometimes you cannot pay for these opportunities, but they're investment in what you will become later on. The last thing I'll share with you is that on the journey, it can become lonely. I've heard that, and I want to encourage you, as Tamara said, get in those groups that will be there to support you. There are groups, the Agri group is there, agrijamaica@gmail.com. If you want to join that WhatsApp group, I can give you access before you leave this afternoon. Very supportive group. We also have the MPhil PhD Task Force. That's another group that you can be a part of, and you would have heard of the maps earlier. So I want to encourage you on your journey as you embark upon this one. It is a journey. It's not something that will be completed overnight, but it is going to be a rewarding one if you want it to be a rewarding one. Thank you so very much, and have a good evening.
I hope the students have energized you. Thank you so much, Mr. Clark. Made you feel hopeful and confident about going to the program. Now, we are at the end. So it is my job to say thank you for coming. Thank you to all of the departments who are represented here for supporting and being present for our students. Thank you to the faculty office for the support in putting this event together, Nicole and Mr. Forrest, and we had some help from Antoinette Jackson in Literatures in English for putting this together. I appreciate the support as a new Deputy Dean. And thanks to you for choosing us, and we hope you have a great year. And now I will hand you over to your departments. You have probably received some correspondence. Modern Languages is staying in this room. So if you're in Modern Languages, you stay right here. And some of you are going on Zoom. And I know School of Education might talk to Dr. Rainford on the way out. But I wish you safe travels on your journey after this, and you can speak to any one of the directors at the front. Yes. ICS, if anyone is here from ICS, you go to room 43 on the New Arts Block, which is the next, where am I? Yes, the next building over on the top floor. Yes, so you go to New Arts Block 43. Thank you. Have a good evening.